A couple of years ago, I was living alone in a small, one-story rental house in a quiet neighbourhood. I worked the night shift at a local hospital, so I was gone most evenings and slept during the day. The place was nothing special, just a cheap old house with thin walls, creaky floors, and a tiny attic crawl space I never bothered to open. At first, I noticed small things. Food seemed to disappear faster than I remembered. Frozen meals I thought I hadn't eaten were suddenly gone. A box of cereal would be almost empty overnight. I blamed it on being tired, stressed, or just forgetful. Working night shifts messes with your mind, so I shrugged it off. Then it got weirder. The bathroom light would be on when I came home, even though I never left it that way. I found my bedroom door cracked open when I knew I had closed it. I brushed it off at first, telling myself maybe I was just in a rush and didn't realise it. But I started locking every door in the house religiously. One morning, I found my toothbrush wet. I hadn't used it since the night before. Another day, I noticed the toilet seat was up, and I always leave it down. Then came the noise. I was off one night and lying on the couch watching TV when I heard a soft, slow thump above me. It wasn't loud, but it was deliberate. Then came another noise, like something dragging across the attic floor. I froze. There's no second floor in the house, just the attic above the ceiling. I grabbed a flashlight and a kitchen knife, dragged a chair under the hatch, and climbed up. My heart was pounding in my throat. When I opened the hatch and shone the light around, I couldn't believe what I saw. In the far corner, a sleeping bag, food wrappers, a water bottle, and a baby monitor pointed straight down through the vent into my living room. Someone had been living in my attic. I climbed down, locked myself in the bedroom, and called the police immediately. They arrived within minutes and swept the attic and the rest of the house, but the intruder was gone. He'd escaped. They found signs that he'd been entering through a loose panel in the back of the house, crawling in during the day while I was at work, and staying hidden in the attic at night. They believed he'd been there for months. The baby monitor was part of a set. He had been watching me. I moved out that same week. I still wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and glance at the ceiling just to be sure. Even in new places, I always check the attic now, because the truth is, you can lock your doors, check your windows, set up cameras, but none of that matters if someone's already inside. Back when I was in college, I moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment just off campus. Rent was cheap, and I needed a roommate fast. I found one through a university housing board. He seemed quiet, respectful, maybe a little awkward, but nothing alarming. He paid his half of the deposit in cash and moved in 2 days later. At first, things were completely normal. He kept to himself, didn't leave dishes around, wasn't loud or disruptive. We didn't talk much, which I honestly preferred. I had a full course load and a part-time job, so I was barely home anyway. But then, little things started to bother me. I'd come home and find the fridge light on, or a drawer slightly open. My charger would be unplugged, or the chair in my room would be shifted. Nothing big. Just enough to make me wonder if I was imagining it. One night, I came back late and swore I'd left my bedroom window closed. It was slightly open, just enough to make the room cold. Another time, my shoes were damp, like someone had worn them. I started locking my bedroom door at night, not because I was scared, just uneasy. Then came the night I'll never forget. It was around 3 a.m. when I woke up, suddenly, for no reason. No noise, no dream. I just opened my eyes, wide awake, with that awful, sinking feeling in my chest, like something was very wrong. The room was dark, but I had a sliver of light coming from the street lamp outside. I sat up in bed and just listened. Silence, but the air felt thick. My eyes were adjusting, and I leaned slightly over the edge of the bed to grab my phone. And that's when I saw him, my roommate, lying perfectly still under my bed, on his stomach, his head turned toward me, eyes wide open, watching me. I didn't move for a few seconds. I don't think I even breathed. Then very quietly, I said his name. Nothing. He didn't flinch. I said it again, slightly louder. Finally, he whispered, "I didn't mean to scare you." I asked him, "What are you doing?" He said, still lying there, "Sometimes I come in here at night. I just like being near people when they sleep. You're so quiet. It's peaceful." I backed up against the wall and grabbed my phone. I told him to get out. He slowly crawled out from under the bed and walked back to his room like nothing happened. I locked the door, didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, I packed a bag and left. I called the landlord and told him what happened, and he said, word for word, "You're not the first person to tell me something like that." Apparently, the guy had lived in multiple units in the area. Each time, there were complaints. Nothing ever officially documented. Just rumours, just enough to slip through the cracks. To this day, I can't sleep in a new place without checking under the bed first. Not because I'm afraid of monsters, but because sometimes the scariest thing you can find isn't something paranormal. It's someone who already has a key, someone who lives down the hall, someone who's supposed to be asleep but isn't.